as a matter of necessity, we must also be aware as activists and people in our various spheres that some rights can indeed be limited when a state of disaster is declared, or when we are trying to deal with public health issues. There are indeed some rights that can be limited. For example, the right to move, the freedom of movement. It's obviously going to be limited if you want to deal with a health rights issues, if you want to deal with a state of disaster. But there's a certain class of rights, certain class of human rights that we must also be aware of, that are known as that we term non-derogable rights. By saying they are...
So in the Zimbabwean context really comes with its challenges. We've already witnessed just recently the Zimbabwe online content creators going to court to challenge the Media Commission after the introduction of new categories for media accreditation. So even now, the process resumes tomorrow. Media practitioners can start their accreditation tomorrow. But then you find that we are now working with using IPA as a reference. And so now we're thinking these are murky waters already, because as far as we know, this is a piece of legislation that was repealed in 2019. But then that's the framework that we're going back to. So online content creators, you find that they've provided us with news, entertainment, and a platform for engagement. We can just mention Bastop TV, Magamba TV. There was a series that went really viral, Wadiwa Wepamoyo. So now when we've got efforts that move towards gagging these practitioners, it's a bit disturbing. You find that we had 2 journalists getting arrested. They both work for online media, Frank Chikor and Samuel Takawira, and they were accused of flouting lockdown rules. So even though the freedom of press is provided for by our law, and we were even told that journalists could use their 2019 media accreditation to work, we find that there have been up to 14 cases of media practitioners being harassed by the police. And the bulk of these people belong to online media outfits. So our online engagement is at the risk of being compromised. And with lockdown, citizens also fear that there will be increased cyber policing, increased online surveillance. I think we've witnessed this in the past, where people have been arrested for the messages that they post to social media.
It is strategic that we have a lockdown in the country, because yes, we can have more time to regain our businesses, but we might not have any time to regain our lives if we lose them. So the indefinite lockdown, yes, has been pathetic in terms for those people who are self-employed, because they have been disallowed to do their jobs, they have been disallowed to continue with their businesses. But we are happy that yesterday the president has announced that we are opening up the space, number one. Number two, we are also giving the opportunity for those that want to be formal to register with government before they can be allowed to work. This is important in one aspect. You saw that by end of April, the Minister of Youth declared that there's going to be a youth fund that is going to be given for the youth. That was $17 million. And we saw that on the 5th of May, the Minister of Finance declared that we have now a stimulus package of around $17 billion.
What we term are best practices. So the government failed to provide for the basic commodities, just to provide, not freely, whereby people would buy with their own monies. And also under lockdown, we saw people being, especially in the informal sector, we saw people facing some difficulties, some hardships in terms of survival. People that were surviving on informal trading, they had nothing to survive on. The government even failed even to bail them out in terms of food handouts. We only were told that the food handouts were being distributed, but we didn't see. We saw some COVID-19 funds that were availed that we don't